Hello, I'm John. I'm the custodian of Corrick, back down the boat on one of my Friday visits to see progress. And this week it's really all been about wet work and pipe work down the port side of the boat. When I first looked at the boat, I saw that there was a bilge pump and there was a water pump and there was a sink, and I thought, yeah, that's fine, that's nearly all done. And in reality, when we get down to it, actually it turned out there was quite a considerable bit more work that needed to be done. So not only have the standards to which we need to comply changed, the fact that I want to sail the boat, use the boat for training and then go racing on the boat means that once again there are three tiers of regulations that pile on top of one another that mean that whilst we've got a couple of bilge pumps that don't cost more than about 50 quid each, there's quite a lot more work that needs to go on in terms of getting it plumbed in and making it work in a way that it's going to comply with the regulations. I hope you enjoy the video. So there are three bilge pumps that we need to put in. One which is up in the cockpit locker, I'll show you in just a second. We're going to have to put an electric pump down into the bottom of the bilge, and then we've got a manual pump that needs to be worked from the inside. So this locker here over on the port side of the boat is where we're putting the water pump, and what we're putting in here as well is the bilge pump. This is now being screwed in, but what we've done is we've put this bilge pump in here in such a position that it can be easily worked, putting weight above the pump whilst at the same time not getting in the way or having to cut into some of this really lovely woodwork. So I think this is a really elegant solution that Nick came up with to make it highly workable and not intrude on the aesthetics. The other thing we're going to have to do is into this deep bilge here, we're going to put an electric pump. It is going to have a strum box down there, and then it's going to come up and it's going to make its way along and down the outside on the starboard side of the boat and overboard. The other thing you can see just down here is the pipe work that has gone in for the manual bilge pump that will then come up, traverses up this side, heads out of the boat that way and ends up in the cockpit locker. So one of the design principles of the boat is that all of the water is on the port side. So the water tank, which you saw the space being made for down there, that's yet to go in, but it comes up. The water pump is here and we can see the water pump valve there and change it over, so that's good for maintenance. It comes this way, tees off, round through there, up and gets sorted out in the galley. The water filler is coming in there, and one of the things you can't see is a T-junction in there, and it takes water forwards just under here, just under there where my fingers are now, but I can't see. That then goes forward to the heads. So in addition to the water works on the port side, obviously the gas works. So that is the gas pipe. That's a copper pipe. It sits inside a rubber hose. The rubber hose protects it from vibrations and knocking, as well as any moisture that might cause it to corrode. That will go in through there into where the cooker will be. And I'll show you where it goes. It goes all the way aft, and we've got some work to do in terms of making a rules compliant gas stowage back aft now. And so that is the first bilge pump I saw when I came on board. That sits there. That is operated from inside the cockpit, and that's fine. And then switching back to water, you can see the hot water hoses coming up through there, and you can also see the gas valve, the gas pipe that is coming down. It comes along there, and Nick is spending quite a bit of time making sure that's really well secured so that when the gas engineer comes to sign it off, it's all tickety-boo.
So it's worth looking at how all this fits together. So that's the water pump inside the box, and that's it looked at from one side, and you can see we've mounted it so we can get to it to repair it. Then the pump goes in, and that sits on a very heavily reinforced piece of wood so that when it's in it doesn't flex, and then we've partitioned it from the locker itself. So as you look down on it, the pump's there, but you can also get to the water pump, and it all fits nice and flush and should look really rather sweet indeed. Also happening at the same time is the forward locker, so this needs a little bit of a base put into it, and then we'll put that in to make sure that anything that's in there doesn't get wet from stuff coming up from the bilge. Also this week I'm a little bit nervous about stowage, so we got a dinghy and compacted it all down, rolled it all up, and we've got it into a position where we think we can put it into the locker, and we'll test that next week.
Work yet to come will be the gas bottle. So when we got the boat originally, there was a gas bottle in a container which was in there, but that's not how we want to do it. We're actually going to cut the cockpit here, put a set of doors in so that we can side load the gas bottle in, and then we'll then have to sort the drainage for that at the appropriate height and in a way that there's a cowl on it that sucks the gas out should there be a bit of a gas leak. So it's been quite a nice day, and I'm sort of making my way back to the car. Sat down with James and had a conversation about the estimate to complete, which was interesting. In the whole of this, people have asked me how much is it going to cost, and I've been saying I don't know and I don't care, and that's not really true. I do care. Like every project, there's an element of time, there's an element of cost, and there's an element of quality. And I'd say that all of my interest is mostly in the quality bit. I only get one chance to do this, and if I scrimp on the money, or if I push for time, then I'm not going to get what I want. So we were having a look at the numbers. There's still a few more estimates to come in. I'm well over what we originally thought, but I'm well inside the contingency of where I thought it would go, because there were so many unknowns when we started. So still very, very, very delighted with progress, happy with how it's going. I just need to squirrel a bit more money towards the project itself. I hope you enjoyed the video.